Do you feel like you aren't enough? Do you feel like you're not worthy, maybe not deserving of love? I know that I was there once. I felt like I was misunderstood, I wasn't worthy, and I wasn't worthy of being loved. Today, I'm going to be discussing that and I'm going to help you through it because I know so many of you are dealing with that. The reason that this is coming up for me is because I recently had a breathwork session with a client where the unworthiness, actually multiple breathwork sessions with multiple clients, where the unworthiness has been coming up very strongly, that they don't necessarily feel worthy of love. They don't feel worthy of love from others. They feel misunderstood. And I know that's something that resonates with me very strongly. To give you a little bit of a backstory, I was 24 years old and I started to have very vivid memories of my childhood. I started to have very vivid memories of myself crying in a room. I actually saw this during a breathwork session where I was in the corner of a room crying and I just felt misunderstood. I didn't feel like anybody could get me. And I felt that way throughout my childhood. I felt it throughout my teenage years. I felt it as I was in college. I just felt like people didn't get me. And you might feel that same way too. And I know that for myself, the reason I was feeling that way was because my parents were incredible individuals and are amazing individuals, and I have so much love for them, but they weren't necessarily taught how to be able to give unconditional love, to just love me for who I was, and to be able to listen to me. And it was because they weren't listened to themselves. They felt misunderstood. They felt different. And so they didn't have the space to hold for me in order for myself to feel loved, for myself to feel welcomed in this world. As a child, I didn't really feel welcomed in this world. And I know so many of us are dealing with that too. We grew up in a time where our parents weren't really given love themselves and they didn't know how to give it to us. So we were in a situation where we come into this world, we're expecting to be loved, we want to know what love is, but nobody is here to be able to give it to us. So we feel different, we feel misunderstood. A lot of us have these beautiful gifts within ourselves. We have unique talents. We all do. But when we come into a world where we're told from a very young age that we have to do certain things, that we have to live a certain way, we have to go to school, we have to get a job, we have to go to college, and we have to live this certain way. But we come here internally knowing, our soul knows that we have a special gift within ourselves. We all hold it. And your soul knows that, but you're born into this body. You're born into this human flesh that has an ego, that has a mind. And as soon as you're born and as you grow up as a child, you're brainwashed into believing that you have to live this certain way of life. You have to go to school, go to college, get a job, make a wage. And your soul knows that that's not okay, but your person, this person that you identify with, believes that that is the way of life. So we grow up believing that we have to live this way, and we always feel misunderstood. We don't feel worthy. We feel that we don't have love for ourselves, and we don't know how to love because everybody has been indoctrinated into living this way of life, especially your parents, your grandparents. Everybody wants you to go to college and get that beautiful job and have that career, but you know inside that that's not meant for you. So how do you start to overcome this unworthiness that sits within you? Well, you have to start sitting with yourself and seeing where this is coming from. See where in your life you haven't felt worthy and why this is so instilled in you. It's most likely something that has been passed down from your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents to you, because everybody has been living this way. And you are probably here to be the cycle breaker. You're here to be the person that really embodies their true gifts and shows up in this world as you're truly meant to. Because the people before you didn't, and that's why you feel unworthy, because they don't understand you, because they never understood themselves, and they might still not understand themselves, and that's okay. You're here to break that cycle. And it comes from first really sitting with yourself. I know that for myself, what I did to start to feel more worthy was I started to spend more time with myself. I started to do breath work. I started a meditation practice. I started to meditate 30 minutes every single morning. I would set my timer for 30 minutes and I would just sit with myself in my room. I had a mentor who taught me this. I would just set the timer and I would sit with myself in my room for 30 minutes. At first, nothing really happened. The mind would come in, there would be constant chatter. I really didn't know what I was doing it for. And after time, I started to develop a better connection with myself. I felt more drawn to go out into nature. I felt more drawn to have a positive community around myself. Because what you're really searching for is somebody that understands you, or a group of people that understand you. But you first have to understand yourself. And you do that by sitting with yourself, by getting quiet, getting out of this mind, getting out of this ego, and going within and listening. Because every single answer that you are searching for to feel worthy will come from within yourself, because that's where every single thing lies. And if you sit with yourself and you start to understand, okay, the reason that I feel unworthy is because my parents couldn't give me love, or I went through this really hard time as a child. But I also understand that those people that did these things to me, that couldn't love me, it's because they didn't have it within themselves. And when you come to realize that, that's when you're able to give forgiveness to these people. You're able to give forgiveness to yourself. You were just trying to make it in this world. And once you give that forgiveness, then you can really sit with yourself and find that worthiness within you. You can start to tap into your gifts, tap into your unique talents, and feel within what this life has in store for you. Because when you start to show up as you truly are, that's when you attract yourself to the right people, the right situations, the right career, the right business, the beautiful experiences, and the beautiful life that you get to live. When you sit with yourself, you feel the worthiness within yourself. You feel the love that you hold within yourself. And then you start to share that. You start to resonate at a higher vibration, a higher frequency, a higher level. And it all comes back to just starting to sit with yourself. So if you're not sitting with yourself, start doing it. Start to develop a practice in your morning and at night, if you can, where you just sit with yourself. Maybe you put on some vibration music, you put on some frequency music, and you just sit there and you start to listen and you start to learn. Focus on your breath. Just come back to your breath, in through your nose, out through your mouth, and just sit. You can start with 3 minutes, then you can go to 5, then you can go to 10, and you can slowly start to work your way up so that you get to understand yourself better. You get to understand your darkness, your weaknesses. You get to understand, why was I put here on this earth? Why was I put into the family that I was? Why was I surrounded with a certain people? Why was I put here? And you can start to feel into that, because you have all the worthiness that you need within yourself. You have all the love that you could ever possibly need within yourself. You just have to start finding it. And when you start finding it, that's when you open yourself to the beauty of life, and you get to live in the way that you were intended to, in the way that you were put on this earth for. So start doing it. And if you need any further help, please know that I am always here for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you start sitting with yourself starting today. Let's keep yourself accountable. Put it down in the comments if you're going to start doing it. And let me know what you're going to start with. Are you going to start with meditation? Are you going to start with breath work? What are you going to do? And if you click the link down in the description, the first link, you'll get access to 7 days of my app so that you can start sitting with yourself. There's a 5-minute meditation and breath work. There's a 10-minute. There's also an activation exercise. And you can just try it for 7 days, learn it. And if you want to delete it, delete it. But I hope that this helps you. I hope that you subscribe to the channel if this resonated with you. I hope that you leave a like, because that would mean the world to me. I am sending you my love. I am sending you my light. And I know that you have all that you could ever need within yourself. So start shining your light. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.